Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lessons Learned, the dumbest thing I've ever done with money. My name is Suzanne, and I am the head coach at Grace Financial Coaching. And today we are talking to one of my friends, Adrian Kashporenko of KashFlow Solutions. I can't wait to hear the dumb things that she has done with money. Adrian is a part-time financial coach and a full-time God agent. As the owner of KashFlow Solutions, Adrian coaches her clients in a way that utilizes their heads and their hearts so they can gain control over their money in any situation. She's probably one of the best mindset coaches I know out there, and I am constantly referring people over to her so that they can be very successful in their finances. So let's welcome Adrian right now. Thanks for joining me, Adrian.
Hey, thanks. I'm so excited to be here today.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your coaching practice before we get started. As I mentioned, you're probably one of the best mindset coaches I know. When I have a client who has an issue with, getting the motivation factor and figuring out their why, I tend to send them over to Adrian. So tell us a little bit about what makes you different as a financial coach.
Okay. So Suzanne and we know each other pretty well. We're both Enneagram 8s, right? And the difference between us, though, is you're very I don't want to say military style because you're not, but you're very like, this is what we do and this is how you do it. And what's the problem? Just do it. Come on. And people need that. There are lots of people that need that. They need structure. You're very structure. You're like, this is the structure I'm going to give you. I'm very like, show up and let's figure out why that's happening. Why, let's get to the bottom of this. Let's get to the root of what's going on so you can at least be aware and know how to move forward and decide to make changes in your finances and your life.
Definitely. I always say that I work with motivated individuals, couples, and families.
Mm-hmm.
So when I am coaching someone, I want them to be in a position of, I know I need to change and I am motivated to change. I just need the tools to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So what Adrian's really good at is getting people from a place of, I know something needs to change. I don't really know what needs to change. I don't know why I need to change, but something needs to change. So Adrian's really good at filling in that gap.
Yeah.
So definitely some of the more, I think that's more challenging, to be honest with you, is to try to help people find that why. I have spoken to people who literally don't know why they want to fix their finances. So how do you work people through that process of figuring out their why if they come to you and they don't even have one?
Oh, okay. So it's different for each person, but it really is just getting curious about them and asking more questions. First of all, I always pray before I go into any coaching session. I don't do this by myself. I've got God sitting with me. So it really is listening to the promptings and listening to their words and what they're using when they speak to me. And anybody who signs on with me, I'm always the one saying, okay, I reserve the right to stop you at any time because we're going to go somewhere else. We're going to dive deeper into what you just said or, things like that. It's like, tell me more about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Going off on the tangent sometimes isn't always going off on a tangent, right? It's just continuing to dig until you get to, the cliche of the root of the problem, but you're really getting to the bottom of the situation. You're getting into the nitty gritty. You're figuring out what makes these people tick. And if you figure out what makes you tick, you're going to be more successful. Am I right?
Right. I found that so it's not always about the details of what they're saying. It's really weeding through and figuring out, like listening for hurt and listening for pain. And then, so it's knowing what to listen for and going that route.
I love that. The pain thing is very relatable when it comes to finances, right? That's pretty much why we're here, because we've all done something stupid with our finances and it's been painful. So with that in mind, I want our audience to understand that while we may be the financial experts now, and we're not experts in everything, we've made these mistakes. So what is the dumbest thing you have ever done with money, Adrian?
So there's plenty of them. Everything from just letting a subscription go and go and go and not using it, So recently, even as a financial coach, right? I'm it's we're human, right? We're human and we can get sucked in. I got sucked into like this marketing thing. I was heavily marketed to and I bought into it. Right as I was becoming a coach, I thought I knew what I wanted my coaching business to look like. But what I didn't realize was I was terrified of technology. So when I first started this, I was coming out of being a stay-at-home mom for 13 years. Technology is not the same as when I left the workforce in 2006.
Right.
I don't even think we had flip phones then, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'm trying to think. I know.
So the internet had changed, technology had changed, everything had changed. And so I see this marketing thing and it's all technology. It's like all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to do that. I want to do that. I mean, keep in mind, I didn't really know how to coach. I didn't know how to be a business owner, nothing. So I got sucked into this little marketing funnel and it was $2,000.
Oh.
And of course, I have a husband who wants to give me the world. So I go to him and I'm like, listen, this is $2,000. It's going to be coming out of our savings account. I really think this will help my business. I'll sleep on it overnight. But of course, this marketing thing's like, you only have 7 hours left to get it at this price, right? It's the urgency thing that's coming in. And okay, I'm going to sleep for 7 hours and I'm going to wake up and I'm going to decide if I need this thing. And I bought it. I've never cracked it open.
Oh, no.
I had so many other things I needed to work out first.
Mm-hmm.
How to be a business owner. What does coaching really look like? I came into this thing thinking I needed to tell people what to do. It's not how it works. Right? I mean, I show them.
Right.
But it has evolved into something that I never dreamed or expected.
Right.
And
as a
this
coach,
marketing,
you have the ability to advise them and give them the tools and the resources, but I was going to say, it's not like a dentist appointment where they're going to force you to do it. Because even at a dentist, they're not going to force you to do it. You're adults, you get to make your own decisions. Right. So
yeah.
We can only provide what we can provide. It's the old, you can, bring a horse to water, but you can't make him drink kind of thing. So,
yeah.
so you never opened this $2,000.
Sitting right over there in a stack. I was supposed to get, so you get this one package every month and it comes and it's this new fresh marketing thing you can do. And here's how you do it. And here's the one book to show you this and the other book to show you that. And they're super thin, super easy. It came with an iPad that I didn't touch for over a year because I was embarrassed that I had even pulled the trigger on it. It was kind of a piece of shame for a long time because I, as a person who's supposed to be starting this financial coaching business, got sucked into something that I would advise my clients against.
Right. If one of your clients brought that situation to you now, I think the benefit of that though is you would know the red flags would go right up. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'd be able to talk them through it. But even as coaches, we all have blind spots, right?
Yeah.
And that was a blind spot for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would say that's a great point. I think one of my blind spots is when we have to repair something, fix something on the cars. I tend to actually be the one over my husband who says, no, we're going to go to the people who are charging $500 instead of $250 because I always want it fixed. Not 100%. I want it fixed 1,000%. I don't want whatever it is to break again. If I could buy tires that lasted a lifetime, I would totally buy tires that last a lifetime.
So it'd be interesting to dive into that mistrust with you.
Oh, I know.
When it comes to car people,
my dad was an engineer, and it needed to be done the right way. And I don't trust repair people. So yeah. Oh no, I totally know where it goes.
Yeah.
For anyone who knows me personally and knows my father, they're probably like, oh yeah, Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Beverly has made a great point. This is a specific mistake you needed to learn from for the experience that it gives you. Beverly is so wise, isn't she? She is just omniscient as far as
She's one
I'm
of my
concerned.
favorites.
So if you could go back, Adrian, what would you do specifically in that situation when you had this thing being marketed to you?
Okay. So this is something I teach my clients as well. So you all get this for free.
Yes.
I have an accountability partner that knows our family's goals and dreams and knows my blind spots. It's not my husband, because my husband wants to give me the world. He'll give me anything I ask for, even if it's not going to be good for our family.
I was going to say, and like, spoiler alert, guys, that's actually not that healthy.
It's not. I mean, loving, great.
Yes.
But so I've learned that I have to have someone on the outside that can walk me through those questions that I would walk a client through of what, does this go against what your higher power would, no, he doesn't care if I buy the marketing, God doesn't care. Does this go against who you are as a person? Does it make you untrustworthy? Does it make you unloving? Like, no, not really. Okay, we can move forward. Okay, but does this go against the goals and dreams of your family? Maybe. But even if I went to the next level of what's your motive in this? My motive is that I want to have this really great business and I don't know how to get there, but is this going to solve that problem? So really walking through those steps and just really talking through those with me and having somebody that is outside and can help me with that is so valuable.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me that the way they were taught to judge a purchase is like if it's moral or immoral. And I'm like, there's so many purchase, like this is a perfect example of that. This is a moral purchase. It's not like the person was like, here's a guide on how to rob banks.
Right.
It was a moral purchase. It just wasn't still the correct purchase for you to be making at that time.
Right.
So I love that. That's awesome. I think that really speaks to a lot of couples that I've been talking to recently who are not on the same page financially.
Yeah.
And it's not always your spouse that's going to be your built-in accountability partner. I think that's can be beaten into us a little bit. But if you have a spouse who possibly is spending money on something immoral, I had that come up recently. Or if you have a spouse who is the spending problem, the one spouse is trying to get everything in order and the other spouse is the problem, that's not going to be very helpful, right? So it really just speaks to that third party, outside accountability, it's, fresh set of eyes person that you can turn to and say, I'm looking at this decision with finances. I need somebody else's opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Dreams and goals are important to make with couples. Mm-hmm. Dreams and goals, let's look at those, go in the right direction. But you're right. It's not always the spending that's going to be aligned and the accountability that's going to be aligned.
Right. Absolutely. And I think you do an excellent job of that as a financial coach. Beverly also has some more advice for us. The purchase is easy and makes us feel like we're doing something.
Then reality hits.
Beverly, you are the worst. She has the best advice, but it really hits home because it's true, right? We sometimes investing, I was even talking to somebody recently who had lost a ton of weight, and how great is that, right? Like super proud of her. She lost she was like the only person to lose 40 pounds during COVID, like good for you, And she's like, I had no clothes. So I went on and I ordered all these clothing subscription boxes.
Oh, that's
and
dangerous.
then when she started receiving them, reality hit. And it was like, what have I done? What have I spent all this money on?
Yeah. Wow. It's like the hangover,
like 90%
right? It's like
of the stuff they sent her. Isn't that terrible?
Ugh.
I know. It was so, so terrible. So I think that is a really, really strong lesson for all of us to learn here today. So I want to thank you, Adrian, for your honesty and for sharing your financial blunders with us. Everybody, you can join me next week for another episode of Lessons Learned, the dumbest thing I've ever done with money. And be sure to log on to YouTube and subscribe to the Grace Financial Coaching YouTube channel so you can catch all the replays. Thanks so much. See you next week.